All right, so here are just a few examples from section 4.5 to go over with you to help you out. So number 22 is what I'm going to do from this portion here. So n over 4 minus 20 equals -1. So our goal is this. Get this part with the variable by itself. That's what we have to worry about doing first. So how am I going to do that? Well, I got to get rid of the minus 20. How do I do that? Add 20 to both sides. That gives me n over 4 equals positive 19. And now n over 4, I'm saying n over 4 is slang, but it really means n divided by 4. So how do I undo division? Multiply. And 19 times 4 ends up being then 76. Okay. And if I checked it real quick, 76 over 4 minus 20 equals -1. I get 19 minus 20 equals -1, and that's true. -1 equals -1. All right. Let's see. Same thing for number 26, the same kind of problem. Let's jump instead, look at 28. So 28, again, our goal is to get the 3n by itself, but here's what we have to remember. That's minus 3n. So that really means a positive 46 plus a negative 3n equals -23. So what I have to do is I have to get rid of the positive 46. I'll do that by subtracting 46. Okay. So -3n equals negative, what, 69 when I subtract those two, and then divided by a -3, n equals positive 23. All right, and then I could check it real quick. 46 minus 3 times 23 equals -23. 46 minus 69 is what we have here. And then I know it's going to be negative because the 69 is the bigger absolute value. 69 minus 46 gets us 23. Yeah, -23 equals -23. Okay. All right, next example, a little bit of a word problem for you to walk through, number 30. So the fantasy book, the second book in a fantasy series is 112 pages longer than the first book. The total number of pages in both books is 552. Solve the equation b plus 12 equals 524 to find the number of pages in the first book. Now here's the thing. B is the number of pages in the first book. So they really kind of helped you out. So B is number of pages in first book. Okay. This b plus 12 equals 524 business. Well, here we go. b plus 12. This is the first book. This is the second book with its 112 more pages. And then here's your total number of pages of the book. So all we're doing is solving this equation. So b plus 112 equals 524. The first thing I need to do is combine b and b, which is 2b plus 112. Then subtract 112. 2b equals 412. Divide by 2. B equals 206 pages. That's how many pages were in that first book. And the second one then had 320. Wait, 318. Sorry, 318. Yeah. Okay, next, number 34. Because these other two here, when we didn't, and this, it's the same as before, it just looks more complicated because of the numbers. But number 34 is more complicated because I've got 3/4 x plus 1.5 equals 2.7. So again, first goal, get this by itself, get that by itself, get rid of everything else. So subtract 1.5 to do that. That gives us 3/4 x equals 1.2. Now here's what makes this so difficult. I've got to get rid of a 3/4 x. And we talked about this in section 4.4. To do that, you multiply by the reciprocal. The problem with this is I've got 1.2 over 1 times 4/3. Well, I can either make this a fraction, which it's 1 1/5, which ends up being then 6/5, which is easy to do then. 6/5 times 4/3, 2, 1. This becomes then 8 over 5, which is 1 3/5. Okay. Or what I could do, is just do 1.2 times 4 over 1 times 3. Well, 1.2 times 4 is 4.8 over 3, and then take 4.8 and divide it by 3. 1.6, which is 1 3/5. So either way, x is 1 3/5. So that was a tricky one because of all the weird number stuff. Okay. Now, number 40. Okay, last one we're going to look at here. This one is again kind of an interesting problem. I've got this issue of all these different denominators with fractions, and I really need to get all this together first. So the first thing I have to do for number 40 is I'm going to have to get common denominators, which with 2, 6, and 4 is 12. So I'm going to have to multiply this guy by 6 over 6, this by 2 over 2, this by 3 over 3. That gives me 6x over 12 plus 10x over 12 plus 3x over 12 equals 380. So now I add up 6x, 10x, and 3x. That ends up being 19x over 12 equals 380. Now I'll multiply by 12 over 19 to cancel off that. What I get then is 1, this is 20, so 20 times 12 ends up being 240 as our value. Okay. All right. So if you have any other questions, come on in. I'm around. I can help out. But yeah, that's section 4.5 homework.